right, new camera angle. Hopefully this is a little bit easier for me. Hopefully my big fat head doesn't get in the way more often than it would. All right, so what we got this morning, Kyocera R661. Interesting stereo receiver. Haven't really messed around with these too much. Probably only seen one other one. But here's what's going on. And I really can't, you won't be able to hear this, but when it's powered on and the tone control is on, we get static. So it's either a failing cap or transistor. So what I have done to this point, because I cannot really illustrate to you the sound it's making, but it's that staticky kind of distant radio sound. When I turn the tone control off, the sound disappears. When I turn the tone control on, the sound comes back. So what I have done is I have taken my trusty can of freeze spray. Looks like I'm going to have to unplug that. And I have gone to the portion of the tone control, or this, actually the board that the tone control sits on, and I've sprayed these 4 capacitors, kind of held together with a bunch of gunk, and the 2 transistors. Now, one of the transistors is in this big blob. It's the left side. So it's either these 4 caps or the transistor for the left tone control, right? For the left channel on the tone control. So what I do is I spray it with the freeze spray. It gets quiet, and then within probably 5 or 6 seconds, it gets noisy again. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, number one, see if I can see, and excuse my big head. I can't even really tell what kind of transistors those are. Looks like they're 2SC, let's see, they're 1815s, or KSC, 2SC 1815s, I think. So, and those aren't known to go bad. At least I don't think they are. But what I'll do is I'll probably pull those 2 transistors first. And I'll pull those 2 transistors first and see if those are the culprit or the caps. And it could be either one. I'm not real sure. So anyway, that's what I'm going to do. My head is probably, because of the new, maybe not. Maybe I can keep my head out of the frame. But anyway, let's see. So that's right between the tone control, and it looks like they're aligned 3 in a row. So we got tone control. Got to get my landmark down here. So tone control is here, and the pots are there. So okay, I can see the transistor. So I'm going to go quickly through this, see if I can identify what the problem is. Replace those 2 transistors, and I believe the 2SC 1815 can be replaced with a KSC 1815. I need to confirm that. I'll do that off camera. You'll just catch me going in here and replacing those components. Well, Kyocera wins the award for the hardest to get to transistor. I mean, that was just messed up. So I'm not testing the transistor to see if it's good. I'm trying to figure out what the pinout is. I would assume it's the same, but that's when you get yourself into trouble. So use my little Atlas tester here. And I just want to see. So red is base, blue is emitter. So emitter, collector, base, it's the same as the replacement. Now, I don't know if I can get, oh yeah, I can get it in there. This should be left channel. Now, if after replacing this, if I have solved the problem, I will replace the other one. The other one should be easier to get to. Oh, man. I tell you what, that is just stupid. stupid, stupid, stupid how they have that in there. All right, so I'm going to fight with this, speed through it, and then we'll test it and see if that got it. All right, so that was a nightmare. Way more difficult than it had to be. Traces came off of there like they weren't even really attached. And the transistor legs are so close that I created a bridge initially and then I had to clean it up. I didn't test it, I saw it. But this is why I don't work on stuff that's new. I don't like the boards. I don't like the layout. I don't like any of it. I don't like any of it. So before I turn this on, though, I think I'm going to have to clean up my solder joints just a little bit because, again, I can't... I think I have a solder bridge. I don't want to create a short, but, man. The next Kyocera I work on won't be. I'm not working on one of these again. All right. I even had to go to my super tiny solder tip so I could get these soldered. All right, hopefully that does it, because man, those caps might be a little bit easier, but they don't look like they're going to be much easier. So I'm going to turn it on. Let's see if we get a short or something. Nope, no short. Let's see. Tone control's out. I don't hear it anymore. But I need to test to see if I hear anything. And let's see. I gotta plug my phone back in. Kind of a weird receiver. Don't know if I'll do a gear review on this one or not. You know, I'm like a person from the 80s, so Kyocera is, they make printers than copiers. They don't make stereos. Well, I left my phone inside. I gotta go grab it, so I'll be right back. All right. So that's all the way down. Let's grab a song. Doesn't really matter. All right. Freddie King. Yeah, sounds good. Sounds good, and I don't hear any noise anymore from that channel. So what I'm going to do, though, is I'm going to leave it running. My computer's also making noise, but it was pretty apparent. So I need to turn this thing off, make sure I have no noise in here. All right. Yeah, I don't hear anything. So what I will do, though, is I am going to replace that other transistor, and that other one will be easier to get to. It's not quite as buried in there. So I think that's all I'm going to do with this. I'm not going to, this is not like a recapable or, I mean, let me rephrase it. This receiver's not worth a lot of money. So it's not going to be worth me going in and recapping it or anything like that. I mean, this is like $150, $175 receiver. So, and this is going to go to 402 vinyl. So this is just one of those repair and kind of get it into the shop type things. So anyway, I'm going to replace the other transistor. Then I'll come back and we'll wrap this thing up. All right, so this has been those transistors. I thought they were going to be easy to get to. They were not easy to get to. They were way more difficult than they should have been. And again, I'm guessing this is I don't even know when this receiver would have been made. Again, I might do a gear review on it. I might just try to get it out of here because I don't want to think about this anymore. But, you know, I really don't do work for people anymore. So I just kind of do stuff for the shops, and, you know, I just got to the point where I was too busy. But, you know, on the rare occasion I will work on something for someone. Number one, I will only work on stuff from 60s and 70s. Maybe something from right around 1980. But, you know, this is a prime example of why I don't like working on, you know, newer pieces of equipment. And we're still talking stuff that's 40 years old. But, you know, in the mid 80s, I think they started designing things with obsolescence in mind, right? They didn't want you to buy a product that was going to last 50 years, because then you wouldn't be buying another product for 50 years. So they made them to where they weren't repairable and hard to repair, and, you know, integrated circuits and all those things. So this is an example of why I don't like working on these things. Plus, with the number of computer chips that are not replaceable, and the weird logic going on with these and all that kind of stuff, it's just, I have no desire to work on stuff that's vintage. Now, again, this came into the shop, so this is a different case, right? But, you know, I don't know if you can see. Let me see if I can zoom in. Again, my new bench arrangement. But these are, you know, all of these components, they're really, they're kind of close to each other, and the traces just come right off. They just come right off. And my desoldering tool is set to a really low temp. So, like, but I mean, those just pulled right off. Just super simple. I mean, it looks real nice and clean, but, and then if I were to flip this over and show you the bottom, there are lots of integrated circuits. I mean, it looks up, you know, like up here, it looks, man, you know, it looks like all this stuff would be easy to get to, but the problem is, I think to get to that, I'd have to remove part of the bottom piece. And I'm not doing that, but I'm just saying, just kind of looking at this, it can be deceiving, I suppose. And I'm not even showing you what I'm looking at. I'm just looking at this board here, right? So, anyway. Enough of my complaining this morning. We're going to call this Kyocera done. Again, that was just a real quick one. I might do a vintage gear review on it. I don't know. We have some folks at the shop that really like these. Again, I've only worked on one other one, so. But, yep, so that was the Kyocera R661 staticky noise repair. If you like what you see, hit like, hit subscribe. Catch you in the next one.